it takes a small brick to form a wall. It takes 4 walls to form a room, and many rooms form a house. Similarly, it takes tiny cells to form a tissue. It takes different tissues to form an organ. And many organs form an organism. Well, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the different types of animal tissues, describe the different types of epithelial tissues, describe the different types of connective tissues, describe the different types of muscular tissues, and describe the components of the nervous tissues. Animals move around in search of food, shelter, and mates. They consume more energy compared to plants. So, unlike plants, most animal tissues are living tissues. The animal body is made up of different types of tissues. In this chapter, we will learn the tissues like epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, and the nervous tissues. Well, let's look at each tissue in detail. Epithelial tissues form a protective layer for organs. They act as a barrier to keep different body systems separate. Epithelial tissues are of different types depending on their shape and functions. Let's first look at the squamous epithelium cells. Squamous epithelium has flat and thin cells. These cells are grouped together and do not have intercellular space between them. They are found in the outer layer of the skin lining of the cavities of ducts, blood vessels, and the chambers of the heart, and provide mechanical support to the organs. See, the spiller-like cells are called columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelial cells are cylindrical. They are found in the lining of stomach, intestines, and facilitate the movement of nutrients across the epithelial barrier. This is glandular epithelium. Well, when columnar epithelial cells are modified into gland cells and secrete substances at the epithelial surface, they form glandular epithelial cells. So these are found in sweat glands and tear glands and produce necessary secretions on time. Well, this is the lining of the respiratory tract where ciliated epithelium tissue is found. These tissues are actually columnar tissues with hair-like projections called cilia. Cilia are motile, and this movement pushes the mucus forward into the nasal tract to clear it. Well, these cubical cells belong to the cuboidal epithelial tissues, and this tissue is found in the lining of kidney tubules, salivary glands, and the thyroid glands provides mechanical support. Now, the highlighted portion is stratified epithelium. These have the same or different kind of epithelial cells. Cells line up one over the other, form stratified epithelium. It is found in places of area like epidermis or the skin, lining of the mouth cavity or the buccal cavity, and the esophagus. This is a network of roads that connects different places to each other. Similarly, the animal body also has its own network of tissues that connect different organs and the tissues. It is called connective tissues. Connective tissues are of different types depending on their shape and functions as well. Let's take a detailed look on each of them. Blood is a type of fluid connective tissue. Blood has a liquid part called blood plasma, which contains water, minerals, salts, proteins, and hormones. Blood cells suspended in the plasma include the red blood corpuscles or RBC, white blood corpuscles or WBC, and the platelets. Blood flows within the blood vessels like arteries and veins and transport gases, digestive juices, foods, hormones to different parts of the body. Bone is another important connective tissue. Bone cells are embedded in a hard matrix composed of calcium and phosphorus compounds. It is a hard tissue that anchors the muscles and protects the internal organs. Take a close look at the tissues. These are fibrous connective tissues. They include ligaments that connects two bones. Ligaments are important in terms of the connective tissue and the movement. Ligaments are tough and elastic and provides strength and the flexibility. You can see over here a location of a ligament between or joining two bones and helping the organ or the bones for the movement. Well, now look at this highlighted portions of the animal body. These are called cartilages. Cartilages are just like bony structure but very soft in nature. And cartilages are found in our nasal passage or in the nose, in the ears, in trachea or the windpipe, and inside the bones. Now take a look at this irregular shape. They are areolar connective tissue that fills the space inside the organs and supports them. Such tissues are found in between the skins and muscles and around blood vessels and the nerves. These are also very important connective tissues. Now here is the look of adipose connective tissue. The cells of this tissue are filled with fat globules, or this tissue composed of fat cells. It is found below the skin and around internal organs like kidney and act as insulators.